Hey y'all, it's Shalita, the nonprofit Easter O'Neill. Today, wanting to talk to you about identifying effective consultants. Lately, a couple of my clients have had heartbreaking stories, which have really angered me about their experiences with people who have said that they can help them with certain aspects of their nonprofit organization, whether that's filing paperwork for them or, maybe just helping them with something, right? Because what I've been hearing is mostly about the paperwork or the grant writing, and they've engaged these consultants, and then the consultants don't do what they said they're going to do, or they take their money, or they're overpriced. So I wanted to take a moment to just give you some tips and pointers on what to look for in an effective consultant. And I also give a message out to those consultants who are out here just doing whatever, no ethics, no code. Karma knows where everybody lives. And I started doing this work and coaching nonprofit visionaries because I believe in people's vision. I believe that when we can come together to create something in the world, we can change the world. Right? That's why I'm here, because I want to help nonprofit visionaries avoid barriers that could keep them from being effective and keep them from bringing their vision to life, right? Because there's so many things that we need help with out here in this world. And one thing that you don't need to be worried about is, okay, what are the mistakes that I need to avoid? Or how do I do this? How do I get to point A to point B? You don't have to worry about those things by yourself. That's why I am here. Collectively, I believe we can change this world. I'm not here just to make a quick buck and then, hope that you figure it out later. That's not why I'm here. But there are some people and some consultants out there, they call themselves consultants, where they will do one piece of something for you devoid of any human interaction, devoid of really wanting to know or care about your vision and care about where you're trying to go at a deeper level. It's just very transaction based, and and no judgment. It is what it is. A little bit of judgment though, because if you're out here misleading people or overcharging people just to get some money from them and then leave them lost, then you got a character flaw. There's something you need to look at internally about that. But I just want to go over the differences, right? Because just as I hear people talk about coaches, life coaches, everybody's a life coach now. Everybody's coaching this, everybody's coaching that. I hear people say that, and that, there's some truth to that, right? But every life coach or every coach is not made equally. Right. So you've got some people who are credentialed and some people who actually have the real experience. Listen, you can hire someone that has filled out their own paperwork, their own 1023 paperwork before. That's fine. You can hire somebody. They know how to do that. There's a difference between knowing how to do something and knowing how to teach and guide others to do that thing. Very different. Right? There can be someone that says, hey, I'll charge you $2,000, $3,000, and I'll do your paperwork. And that's it. Okay. They'll do your paperwork, for which that's crazy, just to tell you. But they'll do your paperwork for you, very transactional. Okay, send me this, send me that. Don't really care what you send them, but they'll plug it into the ethics is not there. Their character is flawed when they do things like that. Please know that. If a consultant isn't asking you deeper questions about when we're talking about nonprofit here, about what is your vision, about, how have you prepared? Have you thought through certain things? After the paperwork is done, where do you go from there? If you're not engaging a consultant to help you on that level, then understand you're going to get what you pay for. If you're not asking them, what's your philosophy on this thing here? How do you work with clients? What's your model, right? And they can't answer that, then there's a problem. If you can't go to their website and see that they're doing the work, they've done the work that they're saying they're going to do for you with other people, or if you can't get a list of references from this individual to see, well, who else have you worked with and what was their experience like with you? If you can't get those things, then understand that 9 times out of 10, more than likely, the person you're dealing with is not a professional consultant in nonprofit work. Okay. It's someone who has, maybe they've done something for themselves, but it's here and there. They haven't really put much thought into how they work with people. They don't really care too much about how they work with people. Maybe they got a referral from someone that did something for them and they're just like, okay, what do you need? Be very mindful, because a lot of times, I talk to my nonprofit clients and they're very, very disheartened. They've been burned. They've been jaded. And you've got to take some responsibility for that. If that is you, if you have paid someone a lot of money out of your pocket and you haven't asked those questions, you haven't done your due diligence, you haven't done your research on what do things typically cost, then you have to take some of that responsibility. If you don't have things in writing where this is what this person said they're going to do for me, I have it in writing that they said this is what they're going to do. If you don't have those things in place, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Okay? So #nonprofit_no-filter. There's a difference between a consultant, a consultant, or someone who, I don't even know if you want to call them that, but someone who knows how to do something for themselves, and someone who knows how to teach and guide other people through that process. Just the same as you've got so many people out here that are saying they're trainers. Oh, I can come and train. Or I can come do a 90-minute session, about a topic, or I can come and talk for 10 minutes about a topic. But really, is that person equipped to be able to guide and teach people in a way that they actually can grasp the content, that they actually learn something that they can then take with them to improve whatever their situation may be? Is that speaker getting up in front of people and moving the crowd and moving the attendees to be able to think about something in a different way, or do something different, or can connect, right? Or are they just getting up there and they're talking? Oh, here's my story. And, no interaction. There's a difference in quality of their delivery. Okay. So know that there is a huge difference. So some of you may be asking, okay, well, what's reasonable? What's not reasonable? How much should I be paying for different things? Okay. Well, typically, and it also depends on the consultant, because I want to be clear about this, because some people get caught up in the hourly rates, or how much money per hour, or what you doing? Okay, let me count these pennies. And okay, no, you're paying for value. You're paying for deliverables. You're paying for outcomes. You're not paying someone for their time necessarily, okay? Because that's a small piece of it. When you're paying a consultant, a well-known consultant, or a effective quality consultant, you are paying also for years of information, from years of learning, of education, of applying what they're teaching you. You're not just paying them for that hour that they're spending with you, because also keep in mind that it's that hour that they're spending, or the time they're spending with you, plus the time that they're preparing for you. And depending on what you're asking for and what you're needing, that can vary greatly, in addition to that consultant's expertise. So know that, okay? When you go in, see like, oh, why they charging more than $30 an hour? No, this is not an employee-employer situation. You are paying for a lot of information and education that you yourself did not have to learn. Okay? That's just like you get your degree. Okay, and you Dr. so-and-so, or you get your BA or your MSW or something. That's 4, 5, and sometimes even more years of hard work and studying. And how would you feel if somebody came along who got none of that and wanted all of your knowledge for free? And you done paid tuition, books, and your blood, sweat, and tears, and all of that, your time with your kids and your family, and you got somebody that's coming up and want it for free. Oh, I don't want to do all what you did. I just want, I want to pay you this little bit of money. so that you can give me all your knowledge. You wouldn't like that, would you? No, you wouldn't. So that's not how it works. So understand that you're not paying for hourly. You're paying for value. You're paying for outcomes. You're paying for deliverables. And that's why when you enter into an agreement with a consultant, a nonprofit consultant, or any consultant for that matter, you should be very clear, and they should be very clear about the deliverables that you are looking to achieve. What are they going to, at the end of their time with you, what are they going to have helped you to do or to learn, right? Okay, and then once you're looking at that, then you're looking at your return on investment. So typically, and I'm not going to go into the amount of money, well, this is, you should be paying $1,500 for this, because again, it depends on your consultant. It depends on their experience. It depends on how they do business. It depends on what you're asking for. But as far as arrangements are concerned, be ready to typically, a consultant may ask for all of the money up front or a portion up front. And you can have a payment plan. I know sometimes with me, I'm flexible. I try to be flexible because I understand that, sometimes, especially with nonprofit visionaries, you just don't have a whole lump sum of money sitting around. But at the same time, you do want to invest in yourself and invest and get information that you need, right? That'll be a return on investment. So sometimes it's either all up front, or if it's over a payment period or over a period of time, then there's a payment plan, but it's a little bit more, it's slightly higher than if you were to pay everything up front, which that's common sense, right? I mean, the incentive is for people to pay you up front as a consultant or pay some portion up front. And if there's this ongoing sort of payment plan, just like if you go get a credit card, if you charge something up on that credit card, there's a percentage rate, there's an interest rate over a certain amount of time if you don't pay it off or pay it back in a certain amount of time. No difference with a consultant, okay? So I'm just giving you heads up so you know, what should this thing look like? Because sometimes, we attract the type of consultants, the type of professionals that we are, and that our mind will allow us to expand to. So sometimes we like to want to get over, want to cut corners, want to save money, and in that whole operating from a place of lack, right? I don't have enough. Then you're going to attract people who will take advantage of that. Okay, well, this is what you're going to get. You're going to attract the quality. You get what you pay for, right? And sometimes being able to understand, because, I know as a nonprofit coach and being in your shoes and knowing where you are, I know that my rates are very competitive, because I want to see you win and because I don't want finances to be a barrier. However, if you've got, people, you're trying to get information for free or you're trying to do this, understand that what you put in is what you get out. Okay, what you put in is what you get out. So I want you to be aware of that, y'all. All right, we've got to make a decision, right? That the types of people that you want to trust with your nonprofit vision or with different elements, you have to do your due diligence, and you have to know. You have to be clear on what is their model. How are they interacting with their clients? Can you look them up and see what their track record is? You've got a lot of consultants out here who are trying to charge you an arm and a leg for things that they don't even truly know how to do. You've got people who have never started a nonprofit organization, never grown a nonprofit organization, but that are charging you to work with you. Does that make any sense? Right? Like, if you're trying to get coaching from somebody, you want to get coached from somebody who's been where you are, who's been successful in navigating where you are and getting to a place where you want to be. That's the type of person you want to take advice from. Okay. And understand that, not every nonprofit consultant has started an organization. Maybe they were working at, the organization was already established and they started working at this organization and they have helped to grow this organization. They have expertise, and not to say this because they didn't, grow it from the ground up, that they don't have value or they don't add value or have something to contribute. At the same time, understand that person cannot talk to you about what it feels like to start a nonprofit organization, that a part of them manifesting that into reality. They can't talk to you about that because they didn't do that. So be aware of what you need to look for. What are you looking for? What should you be looking for in a nonprofit consultant, depending on what your needs are? Fundraising, does this person have they been successful in fundraising? Have they been successful in raising funds for a startup organization? Have they been successful for raising funds for a medium-sized organization? Come up with some questions, right? Don't just be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna give you said that, okay, you're a nonprofit consultant, okay, here's some money, okay. No, I don't even want you to do that with me. When we have a system, you reach out to me, we get on a call, right? There's an initial conversation that we have just so I can see what you need, what you don't need, and how we can move forward in that. And then we develop a plan based off of what your goals are, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know it. You need someone that has been where you are, that can see the bigger picture and can help navigate you through. So with that being said, because I don't want to be long-winded, my folks, my nonprofit visionaries, but be careful about who you engage and who you give money to, and whether or not they are actually paying attention to what it is that you want to do and are going to tell you the truth. Because as I said before, if anybody takes your money because you're saying, I want to write a federal grant, and you are only a couple of years old, or you're just getting started, and they say, oh, absolutely, I'll write this grant for you. They are tricksters. Without them having a conversation with you to say, based off of where you are and based off of knowing how much effort goes into writing a federal grant, I advise that you don't go after that. Maybe there's some other ways that we can engage. Or if you say, I'm looking for a grant writer because I just want to write, I want to write some grants. Okay, if that person is not asking you questions about your organization, about where you are, about your finances, about how you are keeping your books, or how you are relating with your donors, if they're not trying to get a backstory of where you are in order to say, okay, well, maybe grant writing is not necessarily where you need to focus on. Maybe there's some other things that we can change or shift that will help you be more effective in building funding relationships. If people are not trying to have quality conversations with you and really try to dig and see what it is that you actually need and take an assessment of where you are with your organization, I would question their professionalism, and I would question whether or not they are actually qualified to even assist you. And the last thing I'll say is, do not be afraid of the financial investment. And I say investment because a lot of times us nonprofit visionaries think that everything is supposed to be free, that you're supposed to get, and you're not supposed to give anything, or you want to be stingy, and tight. Stingy, that's what I'm going to say. And tight with how you give your money and who you get. And I'm here to tell you that if that's your mentality, you're going to have a very difficult time raising funds for your nonprofit organization. Because if you don't believe in your organization, if you do not invest in your organization, no one else will. With that lack mentality, because priorities, we all know, you make time for the things that you care about. You'll find money for the things that you care about. And a lot of times in life, if you take a look and you see, okay, well, and tally up how much money you spend on stuff that is not making you any money or not bringing you any sort of return on your investment, then we can say, if your nonprofit is important to you and you do your due diligence and your research, and you find a nonprofit coach that can help get you to where you are, that you don't penny pinch and scrounge when they're telling you what their rate is, that you will say, what can I do? What resources do I have? How can I make this work? Not, this is not going to work for me. I don't have the funds. And that's with anything in life. If it's something that's going to build you up and something that's going to bring you more resources because you've invested, the smart thing to do is to prioritize it. Okay. Because in the meantime, while I'm going to wait until this comes through. I'm going to wait. I'll wait next year. I only had this right now. Versus someone who's like, okay, I'm ready for this. I've been talking about this and I'm going to find a way and I'm going to make it happen. That person who makes it happen Next year, a year after that, you look at them, oh my gosh, like their organization is flourishing while I'm sitting here still waiting to get started. I'm sitting here still worrying about what I don't have. And so make a very real, a conscious decision, but please don't waste your money on consultants that don't know what they're doing and who do not care about you, when all you have to do is ask some questions, do a little bit of research, and make sure they know what they're talking about before you turn over your money to these folks. Okay? All right. So I am your nonprofitista, your nonprofit development coach. If you want some one-on-one support, as I always say, go to ShalitaO'Neal.com. We'll work together. We will do an initial conversation, an initial 30-minute call to see where you are. And I promise you that if you're serious about your nonprofit organization, I am the coach for you. I've been there, done that. I have a philosophy about how I work with my clients. But even if you don't move forward with me, please take what I just said to heart, because I don't want to see you lose and being taken advantage of by these people, these pseudo professionals, these people out here who are preying on your ignorance. Do not let them do it. Okay? All right, y'all. Well, until next time, be blessed.